Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to Landis Associates Engage Academy webinar. My name is Rich Landis. I'll be one of your presenters today. And we also have on our team here, we have Crystal Eisenhower that will be presenting also. So we're glad you attended. So today our topic is 10 apps that are proven to increase your efficiency, without breaking the bank. It's just interesting what's going on today. We're going to be covering some things from a 30,000-foot view. We're not going to go into a lot of details, but we do have a lot to cover here. So if you do have questions, we should have a question and answer panel. And also, if our video is going over to the screen, you can move that to a corner. You can click on that thumbnail at the top and drag it to a corner, so it's not blocking anything out. And also, I just want to let you know that this will be recorded. It is being recorded and will be available after we're done here. If there are certain things you want to go back and look at. So maybe just a little background here. Just presented by Landis Associates. We're a accounting firm, CPA firm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we work with small to mid-sized businesses, just helping out in various aspects. I mean, obviously we have the tax return preparation goes without saying, but we work with a lot of businesses in the consulting arena. How can we make their business better? How can we make the business more profitable? How can we make their business more efficiency? Now, we've relied internally to enable us to do what we do. We rely on technology quite extensive. And we push it, so we're always looking for things that we can use internally to make us more efficient, to make our services better, et cetera. So, but then along with that, we also can roll that out, to our clients. And so what we're going to cover today is just, again, some packages, some apps that we've come across that we use internally, or we have clients using them now, that they just flat out work. And what's really great is, it's amazing to me, is the price tag, on some of these applications, some of the software. A lot of the things we're going to go over today, they have free versions. And even if there is a pay version for additional features, it's really, as the heading says here, it does not break the bank. So it is interesting. We are living in the current time we're living here. There's a lot going on. Sometimes it can be overbearing or overwhelming, and I should say that there's so much going on. The technology is available, and what to start out made just a little platform. What's made this happen is everything is moving to the cloud, and it's interesting. Sometimes it's not as bad as it used to be, but you start talking about the cloud and what is the cloud? And so I actually did a little research on this, and I found out that the whole concept, and this surprised me, the whole concept of cloud computing actually dates back to the 1960s. And what it does, the phrase actually originated, from when they were diagramming computer systems and trying to formulate the idea of the internet, et cetera. They actually used the cloud symbol for this connection. So this is pre everything going on here, but that's where it first originated, was back in the 60s. But then it became popular. I should say the use of the phrase became popular in August of 2006. Who Eric Schmidt, who was at that point in time was the CEO of Google, and he actually coined the phrase, cloud computing, and when they're talking about the data storage and everything. So just a couple of things, just to clear things up. We're talking about cloud. Where is my data? Is it out of the earth? Where is it? Is it up the clouds? What it is? But not really. No, it's basically just the cloud is how things are connected. It's a symbol of the internet. I mean, if you visualize how things used to be internally, and still at the point internally, where you're going to have a server and you're going to have your connectivity to this server. Well, so what happens here, we just have all these servers, if you will, that are stored in various parts of the world, and how we connected is through the internet, which again is symbolized as a cloud. So that's what's going on with this cloud concept. And there's a couple of things you can have software that actually runs through the internet. It's on the servers there. And how do you access it? It's by a browser. Whether using Google Chrome, whether using Internet Explorer, Safari and the Mac, etc. You got Firefox, but basically the browser is what allows you to attach to this application. And what we have, we just have a network of servers in all parts of the world that basically take your commands. That's where your data is. Instead of having your data in-house on your server, it's on their server, and that out who knows where, but it's connected using the internet. So basically, what are the benefits to operating in the cloud? And I think for me, one of the major benefit is how you can access it. So basically, you can be anywhere. If you have a cloud application, you can be anywhere with internet connectivity on any platform, whether you're on a PC, whether you're on a Mac, whether you're on a tablet, an iPad, doesn't matter. You have access to the internet. You can get into this software. One of the softwares that we use quite extensively with our clients, QuickBooks Online, is a prime example of this. That doesn't matter where you're at. Boom, you can access your client data there. And also the limitations aren't there. You don't have to worry about the size of your computer system, because you're really not using your computers. You're actually just using your computer to access the data through the internet to their servers. So it's easy to grow. You don't have to worry about, hey, well, do I need more storage? Do I need more RAM? That's not an issue, because it's all handled there. So along with this, then what's happened here, is the cost has come down dramatically. I remember going back, what year was it? It was going back to, I think, 1991. Is when I bought my first server. And in today's standards, my phone has more power than that first computer. But I paid $10,000 for that first server that I bought back in 1990. And compared to what you can get today with the storage, I mean, it's just unbelievable how affordable it is. And also, one of the things that's a challenge when you're running software in-house is, are you on the current version? I'm sure everybody can tell stories. They've called support, they're having problems with software, they call support, and they find out, they ask you what version you're on. Well, when you're running a cloud application, you're always on the current version, because they take care of that. You don't have to worry about the updates. You don't have to worry about your data being backed up. I mean, again, horror stories, I could give you one after another. I've witnessed with clients over the years where they thought they had a good backup, but at the end of the day, it wasn't there. And so, I think, but again, if your data is in the cloud, these companies have redundant storage and redundant backup, so it's not an issue. And also, now that everything is in the cloud, we have this. Everybody's on the same platform. Everybody's talking the same language. So we have all these apps, all these programs. They just work together. We don't have to worry about, hey, this program's over here, this program's over here. How do we connect? Well, they're connected by the cloud, in the cloud here, by the internet, and so they just work together. So that's a brief background on certain things and what's going on, the playing field we're working with. So we're just going to look at some things here, and Crystal's going to be talking about the first one here. It's a program called Asana. Crystal?
Hi, Rich.
Yes, good to have you here. Okay, I can hear you good. Okay.
Good. Okay, so Asana is a project management software. And projects, we all have projects in our businesses. Projects can be defined as a group of tasks that will produce one end result, some desired result you're trying to reach. Sometimes these projects are directly associated with the products or the services that you provide. Like landscaper, for example, might have to meet a potential client, and during that time, the tasks will include assessing the needs producing a quote, scheduling the job, assigning staff, gathering materials, so on and so on until the job is done, complete, and we know that the client is satisfied. So that is one large project associated with what they do. But sometimes you have something that's not associated with what you do, and you have something that's building your business, maybe marketing, providing strategic planning, etc. That's also projects. So in our company, we use industry-specific software for our industry-specific projects.
Yep.
But otherwise, we've been using Asana for things that we use to build our business. Rich, if you could give me the next slide.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yep, there we go.
That's okay, no problem. Okay.
I was so interested in hearing what you had to say, I forgot to advance.
Good. So Asana is set up for teams. You can put your whole team in here. Their pictures, you can assign them a certain color so that when you do these projects and tasks, they're all kind of stacked for you. It's really easy to view. So you'll have your projects in Asana, and underneath that you'll have your tasks that you can assign to anyone you want, a due date. You can have subtasks in there. You can probably make it a flow so that things are dependent on one another, so that you can have progress tracking. So at a glance, you can go to your dashboard, you can look and see how far along you are with a project, where your deadline is, and will or will you not meet it. And it's so ridiculously easy to use. If you've used some sort of project management software in the past, and I know I have tried, and some of them are just more trouble than they're worth. And some of them are nice and they're very simple, but they're not customizable and it's not really usable for what you need to do. And this is just the perfect combination of both. It's probably the best, one of the best ones I've used. And the best part is we use the free version because we're not putting in all of our industry-specific projects. I'm able to just use the free version and, put Rich's in there, and a few other of our team members are in there and can contribute. But we don't really need all that scalability for what we have in here. But if you were going to put all of your projects in here, the paid versions only start at $10 per user per month. And again, it's really, really nice from management level to be able to look at your dashboard and see what everything's at. You can look at this calendar that they provide for you, and you can see what's going on that day, what's all due, what's due next week, really at a glance. And it's all color-coded, and it's just beautiful.
And Crystal, maybe also, I know what I appreciate is the reoccurring, that you can schedule something there that, hey, once that's it just keeps moving to keep everybody on the same page.
Yes. If you have to do something the second Tuesday of every month, you can just put it in there and set it and forget it, and it's going to repopulate itself every time it's been completed. So. And
I think also you can say, well, you can do this in Outlook, but if you don't have it, the group collaboration with the whole Exchange package, you can't do this. Where this gets the whole team together.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right, and I think we're going to move on to calendar management next.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. So what we're looking at here is we're going to look at two packages. The first one here is Calendly, and what this does, it allows you to look at your calendar, look at your schedule, and get that available, for all intents and purposes, across the world. So what it does, it links with Google Calendar if that's where you're keeping it, or Office 365, Outlook, iCloud, or whatever. So it will tie into your existing client. Or your existing calendar, And what you can do is you put a link on your website, and we have this. We don't use Calendly. We use TimeTrade, which we'll cover here quickly. But you can put a link in there, and what will happen is it will allow the whoever wants to schedule an appointment with you to pick a date, and it will only have your availability. It won't show your calendar. It won't show you, okay, fine, I have a meeting with Crystal at 10 o'clock. It's not going to show that. It's just going to show that my time at 10 o'clock is not available. Now, you also can set your time. You can say, okay, hey, fine, I only want to be available from on Mondays from 9 to 12. Well, that's okay. That's what you put in there. So maybe you're out doing whatever. You're taking your wife out to dinner. We'll go there, and we spend some time there. So that's not available. So we'll do that. So, but it does. The big thing for us that really saved a lot of time. I got tired of trying to schedule over emails. I mean, okay, I'm available. Well, no, that doesn't suit me. So, no, that doesn't. No, all that's done. You don't have to go back and forth. It's all boom, instantaneous. It's what's available, and there's communication back and forth when you'll know when someone scheduled an appointment with you with that. So again, with this, they do have a free version. It's a little limited as far as types of appointments you have, like in our what we're using now with Time Trade. We have, hey, you can schedule a phone call, you can schedule a face-to-face meeting, you can schedule a video meeting. So you have that. Well, Calendly would not allow you to do that. It's just with that. But again, they do have the paid versions, which start at $8 per user per month. So that's, again, not bad. But I did mention a couple of times here with Time Trade. Again, they're both very good packages. We chose Time Trade just because it gives us a little bit more flexibility of what we want to do. Has all the same features of Calendly, but one negative aspect: if you're in the free game, they do not have a free version. The paid version is a little bit more expensive, but you get a lot more features, a lot more options, with that. So again, we do that, and I think also it's our point of view. It's the from the end user's point of view, the interface is a little bit cleaner. You can see down here, it has the calendar here, and it just tells you so many slots are available. Then you can open that up and pick a slot there. So it's a little bit easier with that. But again, you don't have the back and forth emails. But it does, and it's not expensive. Like I said, the paid version start at $12.42 per user per month. So this has been a big time saving for us, because, like I said, back and forth emails, that doesn't cut it. So moving on, the next one we look at here, and this is a great little app. This is an app for your smartphone called Mile IQ. And coming from a tax standpoint, when we have a automobile deduction, some type of business deduction, on our tax return, it's up to the taxpayer to be able to substantiate that. Saying, okay, fine, here's my beginning odometer, here's my ending odometer. That's not good enough. You basically have to be able to substantiate the miles that were driven, why were they driven, what the purpose of it was, et cetera, et cetera. So what Mile IQ does is it just runs in the back. It automatically tracks your miles, and it just goes through it. It basically tracks. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Crystal, but it tracks every mile that you drive in your car. Is that correct?
It does. Yep. And you're gonna swipe right, I think it is, for business, and swipe left for personal. Yeah,
so it's that easy. But now but that is one limitation. But I think because they do have a free version, but it's limited as far as the amount of trips that you make per month.
Yeah, I think you're allowed like 40 drives per month under the free version. So I have the free version, and I just got an email saying you've hit your limit. You're done.
Well, you got to quit driving so much. But now what it does though, it does it now. There is a dashboard that you can go in and get all this information. So from a tax standpoint, this is great because it gives you the documentation that's needed to substantiate the deductions that you're taking on your tax return. And now the paid version's probably, again, $6 a month. So it's not bad for that. So this is something I've recommended this to quite a few clients to keep track of their miles. So next one we're going to be looking at here is just overall file management. So what we're looking at here is okay, so we're working with the cloud. We got things here. We're working at the office. We're working at home. We got things going here. So how do we get all this stuff together that we have access to it? there's two packages out there. Box is one we're going to profile here, and the other is Dropbox. And basically they're both very similar. When you do a side-by-side comparison, there's not a lot of difference. The main difference that we have with Box is it's more of an enterprise system. Dropbox, they approached it from different ends. Dropbox came at it from the consumer end, and then build up to the enterprise, where basically Box just started the enterprise, and that's what they're looking. So it's a little bit better. They have a little bit better security provisions with that. So, but what's nice, it allows you to share files no matter where you're at. And again, since we're working in the cloud, different platforms. I'll take myself for example. So I have my PC sitting on my desk in the office. I got my MacBook that I carry around with me. I have an iPad that I don't use too much. I got my iPhone, and at home I got my desktop. In my office at home. All of those items, I can access the files that I have stored. It doesn't matter what platform, and doesn't matter where I'm at. And there's also, you can access it through the web. So I can be someplace without even any of my devices, and I need to see something, a file that I have stored. I can go online to drop to the website there, and then just access it there. And again, you can move things around. It's shared. I'm in a couple organizations where that's what we do. We have our documents here, and we might have 15, 20 people here that they all share these documents. So it's very easy. It's very inexpensive. It depends. It's based on size as far as how much storage you need. We're gonna do that. And I think next thing we're gonna move on by 8x8, and this is an interesting product. I'm gonna let Crystal talk about it, because we just FYI we just implemented this in our office. Crystal spearheaded that project, and completely honest, it went so seamless. Good job, Crystal.
Thank you. So if you're still on a landline phone, and you might be, but probably within the next few years, you'll be changing to a VoIP or a voice over IP phone system. The VoIP service market is expected to grow to $140 billion by the year 2021. Telecoms are losing an average of 700,000 landline customers per month.
Interesting.
Yeah. There will be about 1 billion VoIP users by the end of 2017. And experts project that by the end of the year 2018, only about 6% of the U.S. populations will still be using a traditional landline phone network. So, so with this in mind, you might start thinking about switching. You won't be exactly ahead of the curve, but you won't be lagging behind.
Yeah.
So, again, when we were talking about the cloud-based software and what the benefits are, and one of those things was accessibility. So that's really what this offers you. Me personally, I work from home 3 days a week, and so I am able to answer the telephone just as if I were in the office, and no one will ever know the difference, because how crystal clear this is. And I can answer it from my cell phone, I can answer it from my computer. Rich could be out on the road on the way to an appointment, and answer the phone if he needed to in his car. It's just so we can transfer calls without, anybody could be anywhere. It's really, really convenient. And there is a lot of different phone companies out there that's doing this. I think there's Vonage, Ring Central is another one. We went with 8x8, so that's what we're presenting today. There were a few reasons that we decided to go with that, but of course, vet your own options and find out what's best for you. They have really good customer service, I'll say, at 8x8. But yeah, this cell phone app is really, really great. There's a little bit of a learning curve, because instead of putting calls on hold like you would traditionally, you're putting them in park, and that kind of throws people off. But it's really easy to learn, and the customer, like I said, customer service is really great at helping you get set up.
Yeah, and maybe, Chris, what's interesting, when we made this switch here, if you went around to our office here, we do not have phones on our desks anymore. Everything. We're running everything through our computer system, and what like Crystal said, you can park it, you can transfer it. So I can be talking to someone, and not that I ever run late for appointments, right, Crystal? But anyhow, I say, hey, I got to get out on the road, but I'm still talking to this client. What do I do? Well, what I can do is just park it. Just say, hey, give me a moment here. I park it, pick it up on my cell phone, and I'm good to go. And don't miss a beat. So it's really convenient.
And you have an extra 2 square foot of real estate on your desk.
There you go. Yeah, for me to spread out more papers that I can't manage.
Yes. Yeah, so it's really been great for us. We recommend it for a company that's looking to switch. All right, and the next one is Text Magic. So a lot of clients now are using their cell phones more than email, text messages. I know I have my doctor's office will send me a text message reminder saying that, hey, you have an appointment next week or tomorrow, whatever. And I like that better than an email because I might not check my personal emails for a few days. So this is something that's really, really neat, and it's, again, ridiculously easy. You prepay it. It's 4 cents per text, and that's the standard. There's no ups or downs on that. 4 cents per text. You link it to your email, and basically you send an email to somebody's cell phone number, and it'll send them a text message, and you get your own kind of telephone number that goes to your email. So you can text message someone without giving them your cell phone number, which is really cool.
And when they text back, you actually receive an email.
Yes. Yep. You get an email. You can't send pictures, I found out, but it is really nice for texting. And here in the office, we use something for our Outlook called Auto Follow-Up, which is another app that we're not going to be presenting today. But we're able to schedule an email or text message to go out in advance and just say, hey, don't forget your sales tax was due, this day. And it'll set it as a recurrence, and I never have to worry about it again. They get an automatic text message once a month.
And I think what we found with this is we're finding more and more clients are more responsive when they get a text than they get an email.
Yeah.
So we want to have some type of solution for that.
Yep.
So.
Okay, and the next is Slack. Slack is extremely heavily used in our office since we discovered it. So this is all for internal communications is what we use it for. And it basically eliminates any sort of internal communication in your email. So if you would check my email right now, the only internal communication I'm getting from any of the employees is if they're forwarding someone else's email to me. All of our internal communications are done in Slack. So basically, you have your user, your business, and every person in there has their user in your business. And you will have a private channel, they're called, between you and any other team member, and where you can communicate with them. And you also have channels that you can set up that can either be private or public, or you can invite as many people or as few people as you want to. They're completely customizable. And basically, you can say, I can say, hey, Rich, so-and-so brought in their form that you needed, and you can get started on their taxes, or hey, Rich, someone called for you and you need to return their call. So those are anything you need to set up for channels, brainstorming, meetings, client information, whatever you need to do. It's really, really nice.
Well, we have one simple just for office supplies.
Yes, office supplies.
Just instead of when you take the last one or it's getting low, put something on there, and we got to get it. Simple.
Yes. It is very simple, and it also has an app for your cell phone. So Rich can text me at 6 o'clock at night and say, "Hey, what's your password? I need to try something."
All right. Not that ever happens.
So it makes communication really easy. If I'm running late or if I'm working somewhere else, and people can Slack me, and I can get it on my cell phone, and it really makes communication nice. And the best part is we have been using the free version since forever. And the paid version, I guess, does have some benefits. I think it gives you unlimited storage or larger amounts of storage for your conversations. The storage that comes with it at the free version is really
more
sufficient.
And
for our team. And but I guess it does also integrate with a lot of things. And the paid version would be what you would need to do the integrations.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to move on to one of my favorite applications here, Zoom. This Zoom is video conferencing, and it's really has made a difference internally. Crystal mentioned that she's working at home 3 days a week. I mean, we have today Vicky is at home. Tomorrow and Friday, Mindy's gonna be. So we have these people. We have team members here that are working remote. But one of the things that to keep everybody on the same page of what's going on, every morning we have a huddle. And so when they're not here, what we do, we just video conference them in, and so we have TV back there, and everybody's there. So we're not seeing them face to face in reality, but we're seeing them face to face virtually, and so it keeps everybody in touch there. Also, what I use it a lot for is with client meetings. Time is valuable. Someone has to drive in here, or I have to drive out there. That's time on the road, which is that productive. So we had this video conferencing where when I'm explaining things, I have to see people's expressions. We got a participant out here listening to us and watching what we're doing here. I don't know what your faces are making, what we're saying, what kind of face. But if I'm explaining something in depth, going over financial, I need to see your expression. Am I explaining things properly? So it is very valuable. We just connect. And we can just go back and forth. I mean, I can share my screen with them as I'm doing through this webinar, or they can share my screen. So it's very, very good. The collaboration between things. And again, you can see by the graphic there, you can do it by phone. Again, platform doesn't matter. Mac, PC, tablet, it's all available. So it's really interesting. And for us, this has really opened things up for us. I've had video conferences with a client over in Cambodia, as if they're sitting right here beside me. Over in the Philippines. So it doesn't matter what part of the world. You're side by side for all intents and purposes. So it's very valuable. I mean, there is a free version which has a lot of features, and the free version would satisfy most companies' needs. But they do have paid versions starting at $15 a month. So the last one we'll be talking about today, it's kind of is hybrid, and we threw this in at just the last minute because I think it's important. Even though we're migrating things to the cloud, we still have things on our local sites. And again, I mentioned earlier, I could give you horror stories of just data being lost, and they thought they had a backup. Another horror story I've heard quite a few times is getting the CryptoLock virus, and then you got your files locked, you got everything. So what Carbonite does, Carbonite is a backup, a cloud-based storage system. So what happens here is it is not free. They start at $60 a month, and for most users, the $60 a month is going to be, or yeah, I'm sorry, not a month, $60 a year is going to be sufficient. And what happens here is you can set schedules, or it can be done during the day, where your data, as files are changed, as files are added, everything is uploaded into the cloud on Carbonite servers. And like I said, it's done, and I forget, off the top of my head, I forget how long they actually keep it, but they keep the data for a long time. I know, myself, I remember about a year ago, my wife was working on something, and she inadvertently deleted this file, which she had worked on, had a lot of data on, and she's, came into my office there at home, and anyhow, I was able to make her happy by going on the Carbonite and restoring the backup that was done before she accidentally deleted. So I'm not going to say it saves marriages, but it can make your wife happy. But anyhow, it is very valuable to have that. I mean, we can't be in a situation as we get more and more data on our computers. We don't want to be a situation where boom, that data is gone. It's whether we have a hardware failure or whether it's a virus or whatever the case might be. There's some other ones out there, but Carbonite is very easy to use. it just works. And I know got quite a few clients, and we've fallen back. I had one situation where, again, the CryptoLock virus was launched, and so all the data on this guy's computer was locked, and so we just deleted all his data, went up to Carbonite, downloaded, and he didn't miss a beat. So I highly recommend that. So anyhow, that just, again, we went over quite a few things here as far as applications that we feel are very valuable, and because, again, when we're in today's environment, we're looking at a business, efficiency equals profitability. So we're always looking at things, like I said, internally here. And Crystal looks at me sometimes, like when I come up with some of my crazy ideas. You want us to do what? But thank the Lord, she makes it happen. So, but again, we're pushing the envelope here. So as we become aware of some of these technologies, we want to make sure we get the word out with that. So if you have any questions on anything that we covered today, like I said, this is recorded. You'll be getting links as far as the recording here. But we do have, you can contact, as you see, you can get information on our website there, landiscpa.com. If you're emailing, info@landiscpa.com, phone number 717-735-0834. So we'd be very happy to answer any questions anybody would have. So Crystal, thank you for helping everybody out today. It was good to have collaboration here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and so we're going to wrap it up now. And again, questions, contact us, and wish everybody a great rest of the day. We'll see you later.